Hey y'all, it's Letitia with Lighten Up with Letitia, and we're here for our weekly recap of The Family Business, Season 6, Episode 7. And this one is entitled, This is Going to Hurt Me More Than You. Child. So Donna pulls up at her home and someone is trying to stop her. Now the mystery lover man is revealed. Rob. Child. More on that later. Now he's telling her she can't go inside because Larry is there and he's crazy and he was sent by LC to take out Junior. And she gets hysterical. She runs to her car, gets her blicky, talking about she's not scared of Larry and she needs to get Junior. Now she wants to act like a mama. Anyway, so then they hear a gunshot. And of course, they freeze. And she cries in Rob's arms, all while he confesses that he loves her and that he didn't betray LC after all of these years just to lose her. And I'm like, what? Just to lose her? He loved her? What? Now we need the whole backstory. Like, for instance, how and when did they even get together? Moving on. So Uncle Larry still has the blicky to Junior's dome, and he begins to reminisce with him about when Junior was a kid and he was sad because no one would push his big ass in the swing. And Uncle Larry said, "Oh, I'll push you." So he does that and he experienced joy with his nephew. Wee. I swear, Uncle Larry is so crazy. Anyway, he said, "This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you." And then he was like, "I love you, Uncle Larry." And then Uncle Larry was like, "I hate you because I love you and I always have." Child. Meanwhile, Aunt Chippy called Uncle LC to say that she's about to go in, and he asked if she needed some assistance. She was like, "No, I'll be okay. I have everything that I need." And he was like, "It's times like this, I really wish Harris was still, with us." And I agree because, they were a whole family unit, and Harris had to go and muck it up. Anyway, they agree to meet at the hospital afterwards and they hang up the call. Now she, along with her new security, which we need to find out this brother's name. Okay, Red. Anyway, they go into Christopher Johnson's office. Now we know, or she knows, that she is not on his calendar, but she has something very important to discuss, a very important matter, much more important than how he helped them already with the election stuff. So he said, "Well, they don't call me the fixer for nothing, so let's go talk about it." So they went on back. Now at the bar, Rob is trying to get Donna to calm down, trying to calm her nerves, gives her a drink because they simply cannot go back to her house. Now she claims that she is not scared of Larry, but Rob was like, "I am. There's not many things that can scare me, but Larry is one." And so he was like, "I don't know why you and Junior and the Lions thought that y'all was going to get away with that. Y'all didn't realize y'all was playing a dangerous game, trying to taking out Brother Minister and now wine." But Donna was like, she didn't think that LC would actually take out Junior. And he said, "Yeah, but he betrayed him and he stole his money and if he didn't, then the table certainly would have." So she blames Antonio instead of taking the responsibility. Girl, you are the one that pulled the trigger when it came to Brother Minister. Did you forget that part? Moving on. So Robert reminds her that you cannot beat LC this way and that you have to outsmart him. So she was reminded that Junior said the exact same thing, but she didn't listen. So here she go crying. So my thing about Rob, y'all, remember I told you I would be very upset if it was Rob or Detroit Red. But the thing about Rob is I'm like, is he actually betraying them or is he actually a hero? Because, something about this don't sound right to me. Like, I'm like, the betrayal, I can't believe you would do that. And he even said he betrayed LC. But part of me thinks that he's actually still working for LC and Donna is part of the plan. We don't know how the plan's going to unfold, but I kind of feel like still he is on LC's side and that this isn't actually a betrayal, but part of the plan. But we'll see. Anyway, she is adamant that they need to go back to the house, but he was like, "Not right now." Now, Uncle Larry is still at the house. He walks away from it with the weight of the world on his shoulders. Now, then we see Senor Cruz, who is there trying to comfort Consuela. his sister in grief. And he was telling her that she doesn't have to go through this alone. Now, but she wants to be left alone, and said that his words are nice and everything, but they were doing nothing for her frozen heart that just wants revenge. Now, he holds her hand and says that strength sometimes means letting people around you care for you. So come back to Mexico with me, or Mexico with me, and they will nurture you. They'll let you, allow you for you to heal, and we'll nurture you. We'll protect you and everything. And she was like, F Mexico. There's nothing there for me. All I have is my son and my work. And she basically was like, I'm just going to go back to doing what I already was doing. But she was highly upset because she said she saw them unalive her husband right before her own very eyes. And you telling me that I can't get revenge in blood? And he was like, I'm sorry, but I cannot let you go rogue. And the truth is, he is practicing what he is preaching, because Uncle LC had to tell them the exact same thing when Alexander Cora put that hit out on his son Raphael and took him out. He had to sit here and be patient and wait and not go rogue, because there's a bigger thing at play. And remember, Uncle LC, he promised that he would hand deliver Alexander Cora at some point. So we shall see. I mean, that still hasn't happened yet, Uncle LC, but moving on. Then Antonio calls Donna and said, you need to get your boy in check, talking about Junior. And she was like, that's not going to happen because he's dead thanks to you. Right? And he was like, are you sure? She was like, MF, what part of dead do you not understand? She's screaming and what are you gonna do about it and all that sort of thing. And Antonio was like, I never thought the LC would actually make it this personal, like it was just business as usual. And I'm thinking, like, now Donna, Antonio doesn't give a damn about anybody else. Why did you think he was already undermining Junior? Even you admitted that. So why did you expect for him to do anything different? He doesn't care. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about Junior. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. So, but she wasn't having that, because he was like, well, we need to lay low. And she was like, hell no. Because we wasn't laying low when your precious Dominique got taken out. So now I'm taking out LC, I'm taking out Larry, and I'm taking out you if you don't help me. Child. Now, Bobby, the Beast Boyd, is showing videos to Darnell on some techniques and stuff when the doorbell rings. Child, it is Paris at the door. There for Karen, her new bestie, and Karen runs out, and they're getting ready to go on a spa day for spa, nails, dinner, and the club, child. He is shocked, and they're like, bye, and they left. And Cornelius was like, forget them, because we got our own plans. We just got an exclusive club invite. Now, meanwhile, child, we seeing people at the jail, right? And we see the CO go and collect a prisoner from his cell, but we can't see who he is. Now, they take him to the visitor's room where we see Aunt Chippy and Christopher Johnson. They sit him down, and she says, hello, Randy. Y'all was right. It was Randy. Randy is back. Y'all, I really thought he was gone. So y'all was right, and I was wrong, child. Now, Randy looks like he looked like hell, but he's alive, okay? He's asking, who she is, and Chippy was like, I could be a friend or a foe. And he was like, what kind of friend, pretty lady? And Christopher bucks up, and Chippy was like, I got this. I ain't been a friend like that since I had my husband. She's like, but actually, you and I have a blood connection. I'm the grandmother to your nephew. He's like, oh, you're a Duncan. F the Duncans. What you want? So she tells him that your nephew is on his deathbed and needs your help. And as far as I know, you're the only one that can help him. And he gets to asking about Ruby and everything. And she had to reveal that she was in hiding. Why? Because the Italians aren't with her anymore, because she offed Vinny Dash to be with Orlando. And he couldn't do nothing but chuckle about it, because he knew dang on well that Ruby has always loved Orlando. That has always been the case. He knew that. Anyway, moving on. So like I said, she said, hey, we've learned that you're the only one that can help him. So that makes us think, so does that mean Roman is not the private donor? So perhaps not. Okay, so, well, he says, well, more life come with the price. AKA, what's in it for me? Child. She was like, I was hoping you'd do it on the strength that that's your family. But what do you want? Family no care about me. So he was like, okay, listen, he accepts the fact that he's going to live in a box, but he wants to live in a better box so that he can move around. So Christopher, through clenched teeth, was like, fine, we'll see what we can do. And he was like, the sooner the better. You don't want my nephew or your grandson to die. Child. Moving on, but Randy is back. Shout out to Malik Yoba. Okay. Now, the next day, Rob and Donna go back to her house and they find nothing and nobody there. But they do see Junior's blicky there left on the table. And Rob was saying that they must have sent a cleaner. And they left the gun to send a message, a warning that Junior is gone and that if you don't get it together, you gonna be gone too. And I'm like, Rob, how you know all that? I mean, I know you know some things from living the security life, but that sounds very detailed and very personal to not be in on this plan, sir. I think that he's setting Donna up. I really do. Now, meanwhile, at the Hellfire Club, Consuela is prepping the ladies for some very important clients. And in walks Bobby, Cornelius, and Darnell and Entourage, right? So Bobby is smiling, but he is saying that this is not a good idea. He is engaged and he just got out of the doghouse with Karen. But Cornelius is like, just relax and have a good time. And I promise you, he is a terrible influence when it comes to Bobby in terms of his relationships. He all about that money. Because bringing him around so much scattered ass, Bobby's words, is just irresponsible and just not even cool as a friend. But moving on. Now, Bobby spots one young lady, Chelsea, and approaches her, and she invites him to the back. Now they get back there and all he wants to do is talk. You ever been in love, Chelsea? He gets a second young lady and they're back there looking at puppy pictures. And then he takes back a third lady, y'all. Now she was the most seductive of them all. I mean, she had her fire engine red on, looking like the queen seductress of Hellfire Club. And they had a good old time, child, playing a riveting game of chess. So Bobby just absolutely did not do anything. He is totally serious about Karen. And he basically just needed that therapy session. So, and he paid for it so he could spend his 6 hours any way he wanted to. Now, Consuela asked if they enjoyed themselves and she bid them adieu. And Bobby and his entourage go outside to leave. Now, he is out there talking ish like, this is what we do. We do these things all the time, but they're blah, 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 blah. And child, they get outside and they see Karen and Paris in their club gear sitting on the car. Child, busted. Busted, you're busted. Busted. Anyway, Karen confronts him and goes off saying, you lying, cheating son of a bee. And Paris is instigating the whole situation. Oh, Kay, you deserve better, sis. And she is a mess, y'all. Now, he's pleading his case because, y'all, for real, he did not do anything. But the optics look bad. I mean, you leaving out of a brothel. It looks bad. Sorry. And Paris and Karen jump in the ride and peel off. Now, Niles is on assignment, so it is dark where he is. He's in Munich, Germany. And Bobby calls him the next day ranting about the fact that Paris is driving him crazy. And he tells him what happened with Karen. And Niles just chuckling all over the place, just laughing about it. And said, what can he do about it? So he was like, I don't know, but she's ruining my life. And you brought her into my life. And he was like, buddy, nobody. You're like, I did not tell you. Decided to sleep with her. So that is on you. You know, he was like, well, did she shoot at you? I mean, if not, then call me when she does. Because that's when you should be afraid. Right now, she's just having a little fun. But remember, she did blow up my room with me in it. So be careful. Click. And he hung up on him, child, and took out his mark. Now, Donna tells Rob to go ahead and go because he has done enough. And he says, I know you don't believe me, but I really do love you. And she was like, that's the problem. I do believe you, but I don't think I have any more love to give. And they kiss and depart, child. Now, in another life, I really think that they would be a cute couple. They would be nice together. You know, they were kind of like, you know, staking out the house together and that sort of thing. That could work, like I said, in another life. But I'm wondering too, does she actually love him too as well? Because we all know Donna is all about that coin. And I'm like, does Rob even have it like that? I can't imagine her actually being with him because he just doesn't seem like he has like the coin. I'm not saying he broke. I'm just saying that the kind of money that Lou had, the kind of money LC got, the kind of money Detroit Red has, Rob ain't got it like that. Anyway, wishful thinking. Moving on. So, back at the mansion, Rio comes downstairs and sees that Uncle Larry is approaching the door. He calls over Nevada, is like, look, that's Uncle Larry, do you really think he did it? And so they're going back and forth, and Rio was like, yeah, I think he probably did do it because he has that look in his face. When Paris and I were kids, he had this look all the time whenever somebody would tell us that he just unalived somebody. So I was like, dang, they didn't seen a lot as kids. So he said, okay, well, you go ahead and let him in. Nevada was like, no, sorry, Bob. Like, you cannot. He said, I can't be his first point of contact after doing what he did because I know Junior was acting up, but I loved Uncle Junior. I can't do it. And he walks off. I mean, he was like, yeah, I loved him too. Paris loved him too. That's the reason why she can't be here. But he did go and open the door, tells Uncle Larry that his dad is in the office. Now, Uncle Larry sighs heavily and he slowly makes his way past Rio, past the stairs where London is. Now, Roman comes up to London and was like, what's going on? Is that Uncle Larry? He was like, yeah, and I think we just lost a brother. And he was like, dang, that's deep. And she's saying how right, wrong, or indifferent, I love my family. And especially when it comes to loyalty, Junior made this about himself. He made it a him versus us situation, and when it comes down to it, I'm always gonna choose us. And so, little brother, you may want to remember that when it comes to loyalty and this family. So Roman was like, well, so does that mean that the war is over then? And she was like, yeah, that's cute, but just keep sticking around and you'll see what's gonna happen, just like we are. It's so funny. He got thrown into this family like no prep. And he's just going to have to like play it by ear every single day. Moving on. Okay. So then Uncle Larry continues to walk then past the kitchen where Curtis and Aunt Nene are cooking. And Curtis says, Mom, Dad is back. And she was like, I heard the door. How does he look? And he said like he just had to do something he didn't want to do. So then, and Nene is protesting. She was like, you know what? I understand that something had to be done, but I really just don't feel like this is the way to do it. Junior's family. And Curtis was saying how, well, as long as Junior was alive, none of them were safe. So then Uncle Larry finally makes it to Uncle LC's office and he sits down. Uncle LC passes him a drink and they both sigh. And he asks him, is my son dead yet? So then they do a flashback where Uncle Larry is telling Junior to close his eyes, nephew. And through tears, Junior says, my wife is upstairs. Promise me you won't hurt her. She's pregnant. She's having our baby girl. And I accept the fact that I won't get a chance to meet her, but please tell Pop to take care of her. She's a Duncan. And I know she'll make him more proud than I ever have. And then told him to pull the MF trigger. Uncle Larry is like, trigger pulled MFer. And he shoots the wall, pistol whips Junior, knocking him out, and then begins to do his crazy cry, laugh, grunt thing. This was truly a person that is not in his right mind. He was laughing, he was crying, he was yelling. And he was talking about the fact, like, why did you have to bring your baby girl up to this? As if this wasn't hard enough to do. And then he said, you know what? This ain't even about the baby. He said, you were my favorite nephew. You broke my heart. So we know that he did not take out Junior, which we knew that he wasn't going to do it, but we didn't know how it was actually going to be done. So then the next day, Junior wakes up and gasps, and he realizes, of course, his wife is upstairs. So he gets upstairs, he unties Sonia, and she is so upset. She's crying, she's screaming at him, saying that her daughter, or their daughter, is going to be born into chaos, and it was all because of him. Because why? Because you keep making bad decisions. Everybody wants you dead. And he was like, it's not my fault. It's Antonio. And the alliance. They all keep moving. They making moves behind my back. And I was like, boy, you definitely are Donna's son. Because absolutely no accountability. You blaming Antonio. She blaming Antonio. Y'all made your own decisions to be dealing with the alliance, and that's exactly what Sonia told him. It was your decision to get into bed with them, and if I knew that this was going to happen, I would have just stayed where I was safe at your parents' house. And why did he say, well, you know that Chippy is not my mother? Boy, shut the hell up. Okay, and Sonia said the same thing I said. Boy, shut the hell up, because she is your mama. She raised you. She gave you all that she had. How dare you say that about her? This is why I was mad about Junior. All over again, I got mad at him. Because after that whole speech Uncle Larry just gave you all the rundown of what Donna did and what she didn't do, how the fact that your parents came and rescued you, and you still in this moment, and then he spared your life. Then you gonna come and say this? How dare you still have the nerve to even say this about Chippy? After Uncle Larry spared your life, you need to be running back to the Duncan mansion on your knees begging. I was just too through. But anyway, Sonia was like, this is not who I married. And who are you? Because she fit to be tied at this point too, child. Now, later on, back in the office, after the flashback, Uncle Larry admits that he just could not do it. He said he loved that boy too much, and he just couldn't do it. And Uncle LC said, well, I couldn't expect you to do something that I couldn't do. We'll just have to find another way. And that's how the episode ended. But we also know, like I said, or like Rob and Donna saw, that there was nobody there. So Junior and Sonia are on the run somewhere, very like they were beforehand when Brother X was after Junior. So we're going to need to figure out where they're going to next and who's helping them now. Whew. And don't forget to check us out on Sunday evenings for the live panel where we discuss the newest episode. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This has been a journey, and we are on episode 7. We still have 3 episodes left, and I'm so excited about it. But again, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, holla.